Here at the Legal Warriors, the courtroom. Is it about justice or survival? My answer might surprise you, and it's one that I've earned over 30 years of doing this. So if you're interested in this area of the law, stay tuned. This is the video for you. My name is Attorney Lance Fryrear. I'm a defense attorney in Linwood, Washington. My law firm's been defending people charged with crimes all throughout Washington State for more than 25 years. And I'm putting out these videos to educate the public. So if you find this useful, please like and please subscribe. More people get to see it. More people get the help they need. Now, as always, I'm just going to jump right into it. Being a defense attorney for 25 years, and being a prosecutor about 7 years before that, has taught me some really important things. And I want to share one of these important things with anybody out there in the viewing public that's accused of a crime, or they have a loved one that's accused of a crime. The biggest thing that gets in that defendant's way, or the family members of a defendant's way, is their perception. The perception that the court is about justice. And really smart people will tell us that never go to court looking for justice. And that really applies to any court situation, because that righteous feeling that we need to be vindicated, it's not what the court shares. It's not what the judges share. There's just people trying to get through their day and do their jobs, and there's usually someone with an opposite position of what you're taking. So how does that apply to criminal law? Well, many times people that are accused of a crime feel really aggrieved, and maybe they didn't do it, or maybe the other side did something worse. And where we can get in trouble as a person accused of a crime is expecting to be vindicated in court, expecting a certain type of justice. I'm going to be proven right. And that's just not what court is about. And how does it hurt us? How does it hurt us to maintain that position? Because we're sort of living in a fantasy land if that's the position we're taking. We're going to do things that's going to make it harder for us to survive the court. So when the government is coming at us, if we're being prosecuted, right, the government is coming, trying to affect our future. They're trying to take our freedom, put us in jail, label us, make our lose our job, keep us from seeing our kids. It's a nightmare. And we don't need to have this heightened level of seeking justice because that just gives us more risk for bad things to happen to us. Because if we're accused of a crime, there's professional witnesses against us. There's this entire army of people against us. There's all the police. There's all the prosecutors. The courts are going to be predisposed to support the government, right? Who pays them, right? The government. And so case law. Does case law support defendants? No, it doesn't. Case law supports the public against the wrongdoers, against the people that are being scapegoated, the people that are them and not us from the eyes of the jury or law enforcement. We all think that way because that's how we think tribally. So if we're looking for justice, we're exposing ourselves to more risk to wreck our life than is necessary. What we need to be looking for is survival. And survival means, hey, get out of the mess so the government doesn't harm us. We can seek justice later. We can write about it. We can do lots of different things to feel vindicated with our friends, our family, our gods, whoever. But we should not go into court seeking justice because you're going to be at more risk for bad things happening. And you get to do that if you want, but as a defense attorney that's supported clients successfully for 25 years, I respect the power of the prosecution and the government to just randomly mess us up, right? They take a position, they blindly go with the position, they take in all their government actors against us, and the next thing you know, we're convicted, we're in jail wrongfully, right? We cannot count on juries and the rules that are rated against the defendant to produce justice. What we want to do is get us and the client out of the situation, some type of dismissal, some type of letting us go, and that's going to be being practical about what we need to do to achieve the result. If we get an offer that lets us control the outcome, like a stipulated order of continuance or some type of dismissal after we do some stuff, we don't just, have so much pride. I'm not going to do anything because I'm not going to do anything. That means I'm admitting I did something wrong. I'm not going to do this class or this education because then they're winning. No, we win if we're not convicted. We win if they let us go. They're not going to give us an apology. They're not going to give us a stamp that says you're innocent. They're not going to give us some type of award. What we need to do is focus on being practical in the reality of the situation is when the government's coming at us, they have a lot of power to wrongfully convict us, to screw us up, to cause us pain, and we need to be smart and we need to get out of this mess. Justice, from my point of view, is keeping the government from convicting us, keeping us from making amends to the government, and letting us go about our life without labels against us, marks against us, all of that. And many times a client will think in the wrong way because it's so personal. And I don't blame clients out there who take it personally, but a really good attorney's job is to push back against how they think it should be and actually deal with how it is. Because when we get into court, when we get into a trial situation, it's terrifying. We're not at all dealing with how it should be. At that point, we're dealing with how it is. And the rulings are typically against defendants. The evidence is typically against defendants. Everything, even the predisposition of the jurors, are against defendants. And beyond a reasonable doubt are some pretty words. And what that means is pretty much nothing. The jury decides if they like the defendant or not, if they like the accusation or not. And oftentimes they're predisposed to think that person's bad because they're sitting in the defendant's chair. We want to try to get people out of things without having to go through that, if at all possible. It's not always possible. And I'm not saying that you don't have every right to demand justice, but I'm suggesting it may be worth your while to think about what you're actually trying to accomplish, because even a not guilty verdict at trial does not mean somebody is innocent. It just means the government didn't prove it, right? So if you're looking for absolution, looking for innocence, get that from your friends, get that from your family, get that from your attorney, but don't look for it in court. In court, we need survival. We need to get them off our back. We need to get out of this mess, and we need to do it as smartly as possible, as quickly as possible, and with as little risk as possible. Risk is not good. Known outcomes are good. Let's do what we need. Listen to your counsel, and hopefully you never have to listen to the government finding you guilty of anything. So I hope you found that useful. If so, please like and please subscribe. More people get to see it. More people get the help they need. More importantly, if you got a criminal problem in Washington State, let's get out of the mess. Feel free to reach out to a firm. If we get on board, we'll listen to what happened, we'll identify a way forward, and we will be there for you. Thank you.